Welcome back to IGN. I'm Joe Screbbles, and if you're wondering why someone with this accent is on this stream, it's because we're talking FIFA 18. I'm joined by Sam from the FIFA team. We're going to run through everything about this game, but we're going to be watching a live match being played by a couple of gentlemen to my right. So this will be fun. There's a test here. If anything goes wrong, it's their fault. So let's get started. I mean, what do you see as the big change in FIFA 18 this year?
Well, there's many big changes, but I think gameplay is very important for us in FIFA 18. There's a special focus on making a fluid game, a responsive game, and putting a lot of personality in the player personality and team personality as well. So we have many gameplay features. I want to tell you first about the real player motion technology.
It's very fancy.
It's a fancy name, but it's basically a brand new animation system that allows us to pick animations every single frame. In the past, it used to be every step the player takes was an animation. Now it's every frame. And for the human eye, it just looks like one fluid motion. So you don't see the transition between the animations. And it also improves responsiveness. So because it's every frame, you can change directions. It's going to react. The player's going to react faster to you. And also, this new engine allows us to put the animations of certain players in the game. So for example, a few months ago, we went to Madrid to motion capture Cristiano Ronaldo. And we're putting his animations in the game. So if you see a player, even without the rendering, just somebody, you don't know who that player is, but you see him move, you right away recognize it as Ronaldo.
Oh, nice.
And that's the power of this new animation engine. So that's very big.
In terms of the responsiveness, is that kind of equivalent to, say, playing like a shooter in 30 FPS to 60 FPS? It just that giving you that extra, like that extra split second.
Exactly. That extra thing when you have fast reaction times and when you change your path right away, the player every frame starts trying to modify his path to go to wherever you are pointing.
That's really cool. And you talked about giving the player's personality, the team's personality. How are you approaching that?
So that's another new feature. Well, it's a brand new AI system, positioning system, that first of all allows players to coordinate between each other to provide different types of support to the dribbler, and that means somebody's going to be giving you safe support so you can keep possession. Somebody's going to be doing a diagonal run or an attacking run, and they're going to be playing a little bit wider to create more space. What this creates is the ability to read football, to understand what's next, so you can predict a more tactical battle. And also, the AI, like when you play against the AI, is very improved with team styles, with personality of the teams. So if you are like in career mode, for example, and then you have different matches, every match is going to feel different because they play different. For example, tiki-taka or counter-attack or long balls on the defending side as well, like catenaccio, or just more conservative defending or high pressure. So you are going to feel that, and that just gives more life to the mode, like career mode.
As a Spurs fan who just watched us get beaten by Chelsea at the weekend, I already hate Catenaccio, so that's great. Are we going to see David Luiz smash this away? No. Good.
Oh.
Good. I'm really rooting for Man United, which feels weird for me. But so, I mean, are we talking about just the AI on the opposing side having that sort of depth of tactical nous, or are they working that way around you as well?
There's also around you if you change your custom tactics, it's going to have a bigger impact in the way they play. So they may support you closer, they may go for more faster attacking runs, so it's going to have a bigger effect. So both together, when you play against AI, it's really, you feel it, and also when the AI in your team, you will notice it as well.
So there's a lot more to, does that mean that there's a lot more to tinker with in terms of management styles and stuff?
It's a more tactical approach.
Okay.
And this also is important to mention in the way you defend. So in previous FIFAs, it was quite easy to just sprint at whoever was dribbling and then tackle. In real life, you don't really defend that way. If you just sprint to somebody, then they're just going to be over there to the side, and then you miss him. And then coming back, it's going to take you a long time.
Yeah.
So we have a new mathematical model, basically, that tells players how to move in a more realistic way. And now your best way to defend is actually like in real life. You got to go closer, contain, be in the right position, then try to time your tackle. So that's kind of the approach we have for defending this year.
It's kind of interesting with FIFA in particular, with people coming back every single year. It's almost, is there sort of an element of teaching? Because I remember when contain as a move in FIFA was introduced, and I remember just not. I understand football. I'm not very good at it, but I understand watching it. But having to learn that as a gameplay mechanic felt really strange. So is it about those years since then? Players have learned how to deal with that, so you can kind of up the kind of complexity of those systems and how people have to use them.
Exactly. Well, obviously there's like a learning curve. Like every year we change that, you need to relearn it. But we really feel that with this new approach, if you manage to properly contain, it could be manually or it could be with the contain button, and then tackle is more rewarding. You really feel like you deserve to win the ball back because you properly tackled. So that's kind of the approach.
Nice.
On the other side of things, though, that's for defending. For dribbling, if you have played, you've noticed right away that dribbling is much more responsive and explosive. So it's, in general, it's just more fun, and there's more personality. This is very important. If you pass the ball to somebody like Iniesta, he's really good at keeping the ball close, hiding it from the opponents. He's not that explosive, though. But you notice the difference. If you pass to somebody like Messi, he's also really good, but he's explosive, so you can beat defenders on speed.
Okay.
If you pass to somebody, let's say Piqué, then maybe he's not the best dribbler, so you don't really want to be moving the ball around. You will notice a difference. So it's something that you feel. So with the animation engine, you see the improvements, and with all these features like dribbling, you feel them when you are playing.
So it's going to help players who know football well to just go, well, Piqué can't dribble as well as Iniesta, so like...
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Really nice.
There's a big separation between attributes now, which really gives more personality, and that's variety what we want.
And in terms of that sort of tinkering with management ideas and a bit more depth to that side of things, you've talked about how career mode's changing this year, and it feels like there's a lot more sort of management options available in there, or at least it feels a bit more hands-on in some way. Like we've seen like 3D player negotiations and that kind of thing.
Career mode is all about that. It's creating that emotional connection with the moment where you're transferring players, which is probably the most important part in career mode. You want to buy players, you want to bring them to your team. So that negotiation and how you're going to get them, that's much improved with the power of Frostbite. We're using Frostbite to create those cinematic experiences. And it's not just that you are in instant, you have an instant decision and reply from the manager you are talking to or the club you're talking to. In the past, it used to be by email, so you had to wait. Now it's much better right away, like in real life. You have a conversation, you have to take decisions in that moment, and you will hear the answers right away. And there's also other actions that you can do in career mode, like the release clause, where you can say, well, it doesn't matter, you have this clause, so even if I don't want to sell you in the future, somebody can take you. Or a sell-on clause, which if I really want to convince you to sell me this player, then maybe, in the future, if I sell this guy, then you will get 15% of the money I make, right? So there's new options. There's also the breaking news, which is every time you reach a milestone or every time you sign a player, you will see the actual footage as well of the player holding the jersey or of the team and then putting it on and basically celebrating. So
is it about kind of creating a deeper connection with those
It's all about creating that deeper connection in career mode.
It's interesting. Is that sort of a learning from the journey mode from last year? Obviously, that was the first time we got a chance to sort of really personally attach to a player in a FIFA game in that way. Is that sort of, are you learning from that and how people reacted? Because it went down well. It was a really interesting new take on that. So moving that over into other modes.
Exactly. The journey was very, very successful. That obviously we want to take part of it, put in career mode. And now that we're talking about the journey, I can tell you that there's a lot of very interesting things happening too. Alex Hunter, he's coming back. And he's going to go to different places of the world. He starts in Brazil, in a favela, and then he will go on a pre-season tour in LA. After that, there's more things. Very interesting story. I cannot tell you more details yet, because then I will be giving you all the information. But there's also more options. You can customize Alex Hunter with different hairstyles, with different clothing styles. You can put tattoos. You will be able to play with other characters, not only Alex Hunter within the mode, and that there's going to be, your decisions are going to have a bigger impact in your career, basically, in what you experience. So you may see different scenes that I will see if we play together. So there are different paths. So that's very important. And as well as there will be like shorter term objectives, like chapters, so you always know what you're playing for, so you don't have to wait for too long to understand, okay, I just need to win this long term. No, there's always going to be something there. So
with those chapters, does that mean there's sort of more options for variation and branching storylines and that kind of thing?
Well,
yes, that's really nice. And in terms of the journey, this is just straight on from the last season? Is this his second season as a top flight footballer then?
It's exactly what happens after the second season. Yeah.
Excellent. And let's switch to yet another massive mode.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to FIFA Ultimate Teams, particularly icons, which the player icons thing. When I saw that first trailer, just the chance to see Ronaldo's weird sunset hairstyle again. I'm always going to love that. So talk us through that. I mean, how long has that been in the works, and what led you to having multiple versions of a single player, like some weird multiverse FIFA?
Well, first of all, the legends from previous years, they were very, very popular. So it was the time to have them as icons now in every console. And it's just the idea of having the best players we've ever had in history available for you to put them in your team. That creates more options with chemistry with other players and stuff like that. So the idea is, well, to have 3 versions of each icon at the beginning of the career, the prime, and then the ending. And
really crocked Michael Owen. Is that what we're going to have?
No, well, but what I can tell you though is the prime item, the prime player, that's going to have the highest stats you've ever seen in any FIFA.
Oh, wow.
And how that translates into gameplay, it's actually very important, because this year, with the special focus on personality, you really feel the difference of those players on the field. And that's very cool, because you will really want them, basically, because they're quite powerful, basically.
And so we've had 6 announced so far, is that right?
Well, there's a few, and Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Maradona, Thierry Henry, and I believe there's more. I don't remember all the names of all of them, but there's obviously Pelé and some other guys that we had before, Dashing the goalkeeper. But what I can tell you again is I played with a squad full of only icons.
Oh, wow.
It's the best ever.
That's really cool.
It's really cool. And now that we're talking about Ultimate Team, there's also the squad battles, which is basically, we had feedback from our fans saying, well, I want to play competitively, but I don't really want to go online. Why don't you guys do something offline as well, single player? So this is a competitive mode where you play against the AI, but it's important here is the rewards. They're really good. And it's competitive because we're going to have leaderboards, different tiers. So the more you play, or the better you play, the more points you get. And then you will get very good rewards.
Oh, nice.
And with all the new improvements that we have in our AI, it's actually very fun. And this is like a good note, actually. The AI this year feels more like if you're playing a human. We try to lock the decisions of the AI for longer, like a human does, of, well, I want to go to the wing and then cross. And the AI will try to do that. If you can read that, then you will be able to defend properly and feel more rewarding moment, basically. So the whole thing as a package is quite interesting for Ultimate Team. One more thing in Ultimate Team is the objectives we're having, and as well as for rewards, because rewards is so important in Ultimate Team. Rewards, fresh content, new features, all those 3 things are very important for us. And the objectives, basically, there's going to be many objectives. You will get daily ones, which are different for everybody. There's a big pool of objectives, so you will not have the same one as me. And there will be weekly ones, which are going to be the same for both. And there's going to be also good rewards from those completing those objectives.
Well, sounds, I mean, huge. There's too much in there. So when will we see FIFA come out?
September 29th.
September 29th.
You can pre-order and get it 3 days earlier.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
That's FIFA 18. We've got previews, we've got videos, we've got so much more on FIFA 18 and everything out of Gamescom on IGN right now. For now, keep it locked on IGN.